Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Valeria and this is the Off-Road Ranch. Today I would like to show you the next stages of some work on my site. But first, I remind you once again what my site plan looks like and what's new there. As you understand, this area has already been cleaned of trees. I showed some of this work in previous videos. I will show you the well that I finally found. It is right on the border. I also found a wooden foundation of the house, or rather, this is a wooden frame. I will show you my temporary improvised provision storage little bit, which I talked about in the video about my nutrition. But I cannot show you its location in the video, especially since there is no need for that. I will show you the clearing of this area. It must be cleared of trees for further ennoblement and construction. Also, I finally made the woodshed, because my previous attempt to make it was unsuccessful. Nevertheless, it was funny. You can see it in the end of the video number 28. Now I have to make the roof to protect it from precipitation. I will show you the amount of garbage on my site, how dangerous it may be, and how important it is to take care of your place of residence and the planet. Garbage is everywhere on my land. And in the end, I will show you my finances from May to September. Dear viewer, before continuing, I'd like to say that I have a small wish. I need your support a lot. I would like to reach 10,000 subscribers by Christmas Eve. But the problem is that 97% of people watch my videos without subscribing. And this makes my dream very difficult. If you watch my content, please subscribe to my channel and turn on notifications about new videos on my channel. And if you like my content, please share your friends with my channel. I cannot afford paid advertisement, so you are my hope and support. Moreover, I'm trying to accumulate money for buying a mini house in order to survive on the off-road range in winter and to continue the development of the project generally. So I will be grateful for your financial support if you have a desire and a possibility. In addition, I have Patreon, and for a long-term subscription, I will plant a tree and name it after you. You can send money for a tree in the Monero cryptocurrency as well. By the way, I have a separate video about this cryptocurrency. Let's continue. Finally, after several months of working, I found a well. And by the way, it was very close to the place where my camp situated, but it wasn't visible. And I was lucky that I didn't find it accidentally and that nothing happened to me. That is this well. You see, it is hidden so much in trees, and it's hard to see it. So I also protected it a little bit with a few old trunks in order not to step there accidentally. And until I clean everything around, I will not come closer in order not to fall in it, of course. Today is not that hot as always. It's around plus 25 degrees Celsius. And it is much easier to work. But anyway, all my clothes are always wet at the end of the day. I have several news, like I found a well, and also I found a foundation of an old house. I will show you it now. I think that you can see the difference in height. Perhaps you already noticed it in the previous videos, but now you can see it much more clearly. I don't know yet where it ends, but definitely this is still a foundation and it goes like that. Yeah, I think you understand. There are a lot of garbage a lot of plastic bottles, a lot of old clothes, and so on. Perhaps you can see the difference in height. Yeah, I think it would be visible like that. That is the place where my provision of food is situated, the one I do not touch for several months. And you can see there is a small hole in it. This hole means that some animals have found this provision, and perhaps it could be rats or it could be snakes, for example, and it means that inside there, under these leaves and trunks, there might be snakes who can live there, or rats who already eat my food, provision, clothes, everything that I store there. And for now, I will not touch it anyway, but I think in a few days I have to look what's inside, and I should be very careful, because since I do not know what's inside, snakes can bite me, for example. This piece of land is already cleared, and still there are thousands of trees that I shall move from their cut place to a new place where they will be situated for a long time in order to become dry, in order to be useful for some other tasks. There are 140 trees here, and there might be a question: why do you count them? It's my personal interest, because they are extremely poisonous. Yes, they are extremely poisonous. Every inch of it, like trunks, leaves, branches, roots, and even if you, for example, if you make a fire of it and then cook meat on it, then you will have a very strong intoxication and very serious consequences. Or it could be even worse situation. That's why I count them, just my personal interest, to understand their amount on my site. Still, there was a number of these trees earlier from the other side, but I didn't count them because I didn't know that there will be so much of them. And here, all that you see are apples, I suppose. I don't know how much of them are here, but today I moved 50 of these trees and 40 of these poisonous trees. Now you will see a unique picture of how I chop an overgrown plum and lilac. The trees grew together in a unique hemispherical shape, as if they had been cared for by a professional gardener. The trunks of dozens of plums and lilacs formed a circle, and at the top they were intertwined into a ball. The thickness of the trunks reaches the thickness of the forearm. Moreover, they were entwined by vines. As a result, even if you saw or cut down a lilac at the base, it is impossible to pull out the tree, since its crown forms an organic whole with a dozen other trees and vines. The thickness of vines' trunks reaches 10 centimeters in diameter at the base of the trees. Imagine, this is quite a lot for a vine. The roots of vines are generally impossible to find initially. The length of one vine can reach several dozen meters. It can branch across dozens of crowns and entwine the trunks of several trees. For example, the beginning of the vine can entwine the plum trees, and the end of the vine can be 10 meters from the cutting site. So first I have to chop or thaw the plums at the base, and then try to find a plum that I can snatch from the tenacious hands of other trees. If that doesn't work, then I chop the branches and leaves around with a machete. I also divide plums and vines into separate piles. But the vines cannot be folded into any understandable structure. It's inconvenient to carry them to the camp and impossible to put them into the woodshed. So I drag them in strange, shapeless heaps. They are light in weight, but their shape is inconvenient. They fall apart, slip out, follow me along the ground, and interfere with my walking. Moreover, they take much longer to dry, since in order to be flexible and wrap around trees, there must be a lot of moisture in their trunks. I have to wait several weeks before they can be used to light a fire. And I cannot put them in the brazier, as they are flexible, stubborn, and fall out of the grill. Therefore, this plant is practically useless to me under current conditions. At least as they are dry, and if they are adult thick vines, they produce some small amount of coals. Those trees I work with, they are from 4 up to 10 meters height. Perhaps it is not visible on the video. And those big trees, tall trees that you could see in very first videos about ranch noblemen, they were up to 17 meters height. And for me, it's funny to listen my previous videos because I said there that it is hard for me to move and cut them. But now I can work with trees that are like 5 times bigger because I became stronger, and I'm glad of it. If it is possible, I try not to carry these trees, but to throw them in to throw them to the direction of the woodshed, because anyway I carry a lot during my work, so why not if it will be easier for me. And also, as I told earlier, There are lots of old rusty nails in old fence. I let it dry out, so now it is easy to take them out of a trunk. By the way, yeah, it's still trunk, although it's a piece of an old fence. I have a special metal can for nails. Have a look at this beauty. Denton is good, but let's take another look at what this area looks like. This woodshed finally came out well and is stacked well, but soon the time will come to split large firewood into small ones. In addition, this size of the woodshed is small, and it is necessary to come up with something larger, as well as protect it from precipitation and prying ice. Now, let's move on to garbage collection and what kind of garbage the previous residents left behind. As I told, there is a lot of metal, but it's impossible to take it off just with hands. It's simply dangerous. That's why I will work on it later when I have tools for it. You see, it's pretty strong. and I don't want to hurt myself. The same situation is here. Here, you never know place where you will find litter, garbage, like lots of metal cans, and this bag is full of glass. Nothing interesting, by the way. Here, one more bottle, but they are everywhere. And here as well, small pieces of glass. I will not touch it. Some rusty metal. Oops. It hurts, you know, it hurts. Glass one more time. Some plastic garbage. Dear viewer, I have a question for you. I found the thing on the land, and I have no idea what it is. I thought it was a part from a vehicle, but it is made of a slate-like material. It doesn't look like part of a roof or part of a house. Therefore, now I am burning with curiosity and interest. If you know what it is, please write a comment. None of my friends could figure out what it was. I wanted to have a lunch, but I found some glass, and after that I found a metal pot, and I decided to collect glass into the spot while I'm working here. Just look at this amount of garbage, and I'm talking not only about garbage but about glass, and I talk about broken glass. Can you imagine what will happen if you step into this glass? How will you feel? What do people think about when they leave glass in the forest or in the field? I started to find it, and these pieces are extremely small, and we will try to do it together. For example, I see one, I will show you, like that. I should be extremely careful even in my thick glass. Can you imagine what will happen if I cut my hand? Who knows what bacteria on this glass? From now I will talk with every person who leaves garbage, plastic, glass, any garbage in the forest, because it's not appropriate. It shouldn't be done so. People shouldn't leave this glass and this garbage. They don't think about consequences. In several videos, you could see a blue awning on the site. It protected the tent and tools from the sun and precipitation, and made the area more comfortable and protected. However, it didn't survive several thunderstorms, and the thunderstorm became the key one. Now the onion is drying, and later I will use it for other purposes. At the end of the video, I would like to talk a little about my finances. In May and June, I bought tools for my Jeep. In the summer, I bought a lawnmower, a chainsaw, a battery, and a solar panel for working on my laptop. Also, I bought a generator for future construction. All of this made up the bulk of my expenses. In September, I had unexpected expenses due to the burns I received. I was in the hospital for quite a long time and purchased medications for recovery. However, lying down and having the internet allowed me to earn more while working remotely. In addition, I was actively engaged in farming all the summer, benefiting from what was on my plot. Selling hay as fertilizer, wood chips, seedlings of fruit trees and valuable tree species, selling grape bushes, medicinal herbs and trees including poisonous ones, since they can be used as medicinal raw materials, and so on. In addition, in September I agreed to sell eucalyptus seedlings that I found on my site, and after I was injured, my friend helped me with the sale. I hope to continue working on the ranch in the near future. Dear viewer, I kindly ask you to support me in purchasing a mini house in order to survive the winter and continue the off-road range development project. Please subscribe, like, and leave a comment about what you would like to see on my channel. I will also be happy if you share my channel with your friends or help me financially if you have the opportunity and desire. I will be very grateful to you. It was Valeria, the Off-Road Ranch. Wish you all the best and see you soon.